coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. And birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. The front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakening at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
Hey there, Veteran Nation fans. I am talking to you today because I have teamed up with a company that's dedicated to supporting veterans. What they do is they help you gather all the medical evidence that you're going to need to submit a VA disability claim. Now, it's all that is designed to help you get the benefits that you have earned. Right now, more than 17 million veterans don't have their full benefits. And if that sounds something familiar, either for yourself or a family member, now is the time to act. With this company, what they offer is free consultations with the medical team so they can figure out how they can best help you. And what they provide is board-certified doctors with experience working with the VA, comprehensive medical documentation for both physical and mental conditions, and the services that they provide include nexus letters, telehealth evaluations, DBQs, TDIU, aid and attendance, and so much more. What you're going to do is you're going to click the link that's in the description of this video and sign up for a free consultation. Make sure you do me a favor, share this, and also tag a veteran. Let's help more people get every single thing that they have earned.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all having a really good morning. Oh, okay. The thing I was looking for finally showed up. Restream has been doing some beta testing on things, and the one thing that they were adding was some new widgets, and that was a big reason I went and started using OBS more. So yeah, I'm gonna add my widgets uh, onto Restream now. So I'm like, oh, okay, this works. This works. So that's one thing I like about Restream. They do a lot on YouTube, and they take a lot of people's input and then try to turn it into things. So I really love that they do that, and yeah, it's a good deal. Um, there we go. Uh, Thank you, Hellhound. And good morning to Hellhound. Good morning to Cinder as well. I'm just kind of easing into things today. Just going to ease right in. I do have some prepared content, not as much as yesterday. Yesterday, I just had my mouth shut the whole time, just watching those videos and laughing. It was fun. Um, but that's okay. That's okay. That's when you have content and you've got stuff ready. You know, sometimes you just do a show where you don't talk a lot, and that's fine. Oh, there's my bestie. Good morning, baby girl. Good to see you. Uh, you and Hellhound are gonna fight. Yeah, he annoys you. I get it. I love it when he does. I love it. Love it. Too funny. Um, but speaking of fights, yeah. Actually, do it. Okay. I'm just looking. I guess I'll do this. There we go. There's a lot of these. Apparently, parking is like a big deal in the UK, and I'm not talking like parking like out and about, like in like a metro area. I'm talking about parking at your house. I'm seeing a lot of these videos of people with strangers parking in their driveway, and in this one, um, yeah, this guy, there's public parking apparently, and he's got a problem with it. Hey, good morning, AVA. Good to see you.
A man who just hit my car with a object.
Hi.
And he
Calling the cops now.
good. This guy just hit my
Oh, when I first saw this, I thought it was in the UK. I don't think this is in the UK.
Now.
good. This guy just hit my car with this object and he slammed on my windows. That's wild.
Yeah. Oh, if you don't like where someone's parked, you can have an issue with it. You can call the cops. You can leave a note. You can't hit someone's car. Like, what?
This guy just hit my car. He just hit my car.
To the police.
Wow. This guy just hit my car.
Bye-bye. Say hi to Fairfax County Police for me. They're on their way.
This man just hit my car with that object. I work in this neighborhood. Can you believe this?
Okay.
Fairfax County. That could be Virginia. There's a couple Fairfax counties, though. I know there's one in Florida. I think there's one in Georgia, too.
Object. I work in this neighborhood. Can you believe this?
Okay.
You know who this is?
Yeah, it's you sitting in front of my house for an hour. Now leave.
Is there an issue with parking on the street? There's a man who just...
So, yeah, I saw that, and it's like, I thought this was one of those UK ones. So I was like, oh, I definitely want to talk about this because I've been seeing a lot of them, but apparently it's not, which is okay. That's fine. But oh, and this one, a friend of mine actually sent me this one, and I do want to get into this because this is something that I have dealt with. So he told me this was sent by a friend of mine, and he was like, hey, share this out. And I'm like, oh, I absolutely will.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Mark Real Jr., the Father's Rights Attorney, and I need your help today. I'm going to ask for two things, and that's it. The first thing, I'm going to ask you to hit the share button. I need everyone who watches this to hit the share button on this video. And the second is give me 90 seconds to tell you about what's going on at the end of this month. A lot of people will ask me, hey, Mark, well, what are you doing to help change what's going on in family court? The answer is this right here. I'm the president of the board of the National Council for Equal and Shared Parenting. And June 28th through July 1st, we're going to be hosting what will go down as the largest event in the equal and shared parenting community's history. On June 28th, we're going to be hosting a conference that afternoon where legislators and leaders in the space are going to be talking and discussing our issues and how we solve those problems. This is going to be followed by 2 days, the 29th and 30th, on Capitol Hill, talking with legislators and educating them on our issues. This is going to be capped off by a private reception at an exclusive members-only club in Washington, D.C., where we could have upwards of 15 to 20 legislators present and in the House for an event that's about equal and shared parenting. This is a big deal. It's come to my attention that not everybody on social media has heard what we're doing yet and may want to attend. That's why you hitting the share button is so important. I've also included the link to the event in the comments below if you're interested in attending. So I want to thank you guys for giving me that 90 seconds. Hit that share button. Let's spread the word and let's make as large an impact as we possibly can. June 28th through July 1st, National Council for Equal and Shared Parenting, Washington, D.C. I'll see you guys there.
So I think that's a really good thing. And you guys know I've been in a contentious divorce, and really the custodial part has been probably the most contentious. And you know, I equal parenting like should be a thing. Like I don't get why it's not. These family courts, and I'm not. I know it skews to women, but I'm not coming at this from like a men's rights aspect. Like I'm actually coming from it from a children's rights aspect. Children deserve to have an equal right to both of their parents, and I had a bad co-parent who did not feel I should be involved. Felt that like she didn't want me completely shunned out, but thought that I should only be allowed to attend things that she believed that other people had more of a right to our son than I did and should be at his events before I was. And you guys even saw it got physical. Not because of anything I wanted. Uh Okay, okay, Georgia. Yeah, we could talk about that. Um, but yeah, uh, that's parental alienation is such a problem in these family courts. Such a problem. It's ridiculous. So I just shared that out on my private Facebook. Let me go share it on my Veteran Nation so that way you guys uh can share it out as well. And that's, it should just be uh just why can't things be fair? Why can't they be fair? Um, that's one thing I never understood. Why is there uh there we go. I shared it there. I'm going to share it in the ecosystem as well. So for people who are not friends with me, it'll be in the ecosystem, which there's a link to the ecosystem if they want to join. Uh but yeah, uh it's the child. That's the thing. You have to look at the child, and that's one thing I'm very fortunate that I went into therapy when I did, and my therapist was like, "What do you want to gain from this?" And I said, "I want to become the best dad ever." And she was like, "If you keep that attitude, you're going to be very successful. Whether you continue with therapy with me or go on to someone else, you will be successful." And I always, I learned from that. I was like, okay, then I'm doing it for the right reasons, and I am, you know, uh, I'm going to keep that in mind. And there were times where, yeah, I wanted my son more, but you know, she had a right to him as well. And my son today knows I would never keep him from his mom. If he's been with me, we're in our 2 week custodial vacation, and if he said, "Dad, I want to go to mom's today," I'd be okay. Do you need me to give you a ride, or how are you getting there? That's what it would be. And yeah, sadly, what it comes down, uh, what it comes down to is money. Another issue is demonization of a parent when the kids are with the other. After a certain point, they've had so much crap to put in their head, they don't even want to see the other one. This is true. This is another part of parental alienation. And I know that this happened to me, and it was so hard to keep calm and to not say anything. And that's why I was thankful that I had a good support system. I had my therapist. I could call and vent to my therapist. I could call, talk to my family. I could talk to several of my friends. Hey, Trent, good morning. Good to see you. Here's Trent. She's here. You know, but I was always like, whenever things were happening to me, I was like, nope, I have to be a great parent. And so I didn't knock my co-parent. Now my son is 16. He understands things. And I still don't knock my co-parent, but I'll say to him things like, "Hey, you want this, but I am done fighting with your mom. I'm not fighting with your mom. If you want it, you have to have that fight. You got to go talk to her, and you're gonna make it happen." And I also say, my job as a dad is to turn you into a man, and this is part of being a man. Men have to have uncomfortable conversations. They have to do things that they don't always like to do. It's you man up and you just do it. And we've had those conversations, and you know, he's he's getting it. He's a good young man, responsible, and yeah, a lot of people only care about mental health when it affects themselves. Not many people care about their words, actions, and affects their kids. It's sad. This is absolutely true. And this is why I'm glad that we were able to have Amanda come on the show, because she has that group, Because I Love You. And you guys, for any of you guys, if you're going through any of this, you should reach out to her group. And I think that is, again, that is focused on the kids. When you focus on the kids and like, okay, this is my co-parent and they're doing whatever, but if you keep focus on the kids, it keeps you grounded, and it also keeps you making the right decisions. Hey, Irish man, good to see you this morning. Good morning, Vietnam. I need that on my I need that on there because Trina's in Vietnam, so we have people watching in Vietnam. So yeah, I need to get that. The girls are at the age where they see for themselves how bad it is. I don't have to say anything to them. I will never put their father down to them. It's not right. True, very true, and it affects their self esteem. And I have these discussions with, I've got a family member who's going through a custody situation, and he's like, "Well, my kids are old enough." I'm like, "Hold on, you have one. He's got a 14-year-old that is old enough. The others, they're starting to figure out right and wrong, but they don't always get it. You have to once they hit puberty, their brain has grown. So I you know." And me, I probably coddled my my son a little bit too long. He was able to understand things. You guys have seen the fight. He understands the fight. Like, he understands that was wrong. That was done to my dad, and using that as a way to keep me away from my dad, it was a bad thing. And trust me, I've got I've got family trauma due to my extended family, and I grew up seeing all the games that, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, co-parenting was just toxic. We didn't know what we know now. So I learned from that. Like, I had one family member went through a bad divorce in custody. They were a bad co-parent and they had a bad co-parent. And I saw how it affected my cousins. Um, I've got enough cousins that I'm not outing anybody. I saw how it affected them and growing up, and they have issues today. So like, you guys know, I just went to New York. Okay, I we were supposed to go to Greece, but my co-parent wouldn't just give me our son's passport number. I wasn't asking for the passport. I was just asking for the number so I could book everything. She would not give me that. Would not even give it to me. And it wasn't affecting me. It's not hurting me. I'm not the one who wanted to go to Greece. It was our son. So because she had hatred for me, hurt our son, like hurt him. But one thing I know is um, it's important to keep promises. And back during spring break, we were going to go to New York City then. And the way she affected that trip was I was like, "Hey, what days are you getting them? What days am I getting them? I don't care. You just tell me which days." And wouldn't give me the days until the last minute, and I didn't have the money, it was too expensive. So, because I was saving money for the Greek trip. So, when the Greek trip didn't go through, guess what? I took that money. I said, "Okay, we're going to New York City. Your dad is going to keep your promise." I said we'll go to New York City and Greece. So, instead of going to Greece right now, we're going to New York City. And we're going to go to Greece, but we're going to go at a later date. So, I'm still keeping my promises. So, again, I'm being a good parent. Um, it's Men's Mental Health Month. Oh, okay. Check on your homies. That's a. I didn't. I forgot that. That's what it was. Uh, Wait, their minds are grown. Might want to soon be 22 years old. You see these parents who they don't act like adults themselves. Yeah, the parents in the 80s and 90s definitely used their kids as weapons. Definitely. And for me, it's like I'm over my ex. Like I don't even want to see her. Just leave me alone. I'm gonna have to see her. But I've also had those discussions with our son. I've told her, or I've told him. I'm like, hey, just gonna let you know, you have to deal with your mom. Your mom's difficult. You have to deal with that. And when you get married, good fucking luck. I will I will be I will be the greatest father-in-law to whatever woman you choose, and only because I know your mom's gonna be that monster-in-law, because I know her. I know her. And, I take a lot of I don't have to do things to her. I'm over her. Like, narcissists always end up alone because they they use people to build this shield, and then they push everyone away. And then they turn on the people who are their shields. So they always end up alone. So I'm not worried one bit. I I have a great relationship with my son. I'm going to keep that great relationship. That's okay, Stacy. It's good to have you here. Very good to have you here. Growing up, not many people talked about stuff like that. I don't blame either of mine for that, but I can say offhanded comments get picked up on like you wouldn't believe. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And it's tough. It is tough not to say something. But I would, I'm sure my son did hear some stuff, but I always would leave the room. I would leave the room, go into another room, uh, and I also did things to boost his self esteem. I'm very like I've had people say things to me because I say I love you to my son all the time, all the time. Like I wanted to normalize that. It wasn't like we say I love you in my family, but like we don't say it as much as me and my son say it. And we do now because as I've normalized that with my son, I've normalized it with the rest of my family. And that's important and it's self-esteem. Like I with with these other custody battles that are toxic in my family, you know, I've told other family members, we have to focus on the kids and make sure that they are happy and healthy more than anything. And if we don't, then we are failing. People, yeah, that's one thing that for co-parenting, grandparents can be such a savior because they love those kids and they can be that buffer. And you should utilize those buffers. And if it's not the grandparents, if the grandparents are toxic, bring in an aunt or an uncle, whoever. My daughter-in-law is using parental alienation against me and my son. It sucks. It does. It does. Stacy, talk to a therapist. Talk to a therapist or a support group. Like Amanda's got Billy, Because I Love You, because you need that support. You will need that support, and you want to focus on being as loving as possible. Y- They can be negative all day. I was always going to be the sunshine. I was always going to show my son that there's another way. Uh, That's there's another way of parenting. I was raised in the 80s and 90s. My parents thought it was only good for a tax deduction. No, my parents were tough, but they gave a shit. That's good. That's good. I mean, I annoy my babies with tell them how much I love them. Yeah, that's how I am. But I'll randomly get from my son a text message just in the middle of the day. Hey, Dad, I love you, and it makes me feel good. And I'll be like, I love you too. Yeah, you make me so proud. And you want them to be good in school, and you want them to be well behaved. That's how you get that. That's how you get the negative shit. Negative shit causes negative shit. Positive stuff causes positive stuff. All this day, never once have I talked down about my daughter's mom in front of her or around her. I made sure no one did. Yeah. I I was conscious that I can't control other people. I would talk to people if they were talking bad about my ex and be like, look, don't do that around him. You can do that on the phone with me all day long. We'll talk shit about her and laugh. Uh, and that's the thing. Even if I did do anything, I would be laughing. Like, I remember my ex did some stuff, and I was laughing, and I looked at my son, and I said, "You're so lucky you have a dad with PTSD, because I went through therapy, and, like, normal people would lose their shit over this." I find it funny because it's just dumb, and it's not affecting me. And, again, showing him that there's a way of dealing with things. I remember one time we were flying, and I'd gotten a ride. Someone drove my car, and when they drove off, my wallet was still in the car. I'd taken the bags out, and when I closed the thing, he waved and drove off. And also, my phone was in the car. So I uh, I needed my wallet, or we couldn't fly. And I didn't, I've got numbers saved in my phone. I'm like, okay. And my son is like starting to freak out. And I'm like, "Hey, this is just a problem. This is nothing. This is not the end of the world. It's just a problem. We solve problems." So I told him, I was like, "You have your iPad. You call me on FaceTime all the time. Let's sign we signed it in on the Wi-Fi." And I'm like, "You keep calling on the FaceTime, and hopefully he hears my phone buzzing." And I was like, "I do know where his parents are, and I can have the operator connect me." So then I went to a phone, and the I was calling, and I got in touch with the guy's parents, and I was like, "Hey, can you guys text him and let him know my phone and wallet are still in the car?" And they were like, "Yeah." And right when they said that, he picked up on the FaceTime, and he was like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Hey, I left my phone and wallet. Can you come back?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm right down the street. No problem." He was buying cigarettes. And 5 minutes later, I had my stuff. I looked at my son. I was like, "See, this is why you're in Boy Scouts." And, what is the first thing they tell you in Boy Scouts? When something happens, don't panic. You think through problems. So I was being a good example and showing my son, hey, you don't have to panic on something. Because had it been my ex, she would have lost her shit. Like, anything goes wrong, she can't deal with it. So again, it was about me showing our son that there's another way of living. There's another way, and he has to navigate which way he is best for him. Sometimes people do the negative stuff. I've got my red flags. Totally get it. But sometimes you got to do that. AVA says, if I call you daddy, will you love me? I already love you, AVA. I already love you. I need to plan a trip up there to see you. We gotta go. We gotta go for find Bigfoot. That was a teaching moment. Absolutely, it was. Absolutely, absolutely, it was. Hitchhiker's Guide. Don't panic. Right. And I was able to show this is how the Boy Scouts have taught you the exact same thing. You don't need to panic. You just calm down. Take a moment and think, what can we do? what is in my power? You showed him to stay calm and think. Yeah. And that's why this whole trip to New York was great because that's a big city that neither of us knew our way around. I kind of had an idea, but I didn't. I've only been to New York City once for Thanksgiving. We watched the Thanksgiving Day parade. We went to Rockefeller Center and Times Square, and then left. That was my extent of New York City. So with us going this time, it was an adventure. And like I told him, I said, I'm glad we did this because I want you to not panic. Like when we went on the subway, I'm like, okay, whi- I was asking him, which way do we go? And like we'd walk over to the map and he'd look at it. And, y- you know, I've been in cities where there's a metro. I lived outside of DC. I've been to Munich. I'm trying to think. LA. I don't take the metro in LA though because it's pretty dangerous. Um, I'm trying to think. Oh, Chicago. I've used the metro in Chicago, and it can be, until you've done it, and every time I do it new, it's like, okay, I know how it works, but let me familiarize myself. And I was showing him, I was like, yeah, you look at the, you know, we know it's like we were riding the yellow line a lot. I said, so here's the yellow line. I go, but you need to know which direction it's going, so it'll tell you where the last stop is. And, you know, so then after 2 days, he had it down. And he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we're getting on this one. We're gonna head that direction." And let me just tell you guys, if you guys here's some New York tips. If you're going to New York City, uh flying in and out of Newark was so easy. So easy. And literally the train to Newark took like 30 minutes to the airport. And like I looked at him and I was like, this is probably the easiest trip we've ever had to the airport. The only thing that rivals it is taking a cab in Vegas. Like it's that easy. And there are people who are like, why do you always go in and out of Vegas? Well, I do that because it's easy. It's easy. I can park somewhere and normally very cheap or free. I can take a very cheap cab or an Uber, and like it's boom, boom, boom. And like we normally, when we go to Vegas, we normally go to a hotel. We'll check in our bags, and then we go explore. We go do something. We've gone and seen movies before. We've seen a show, and then it's like, yeah, we're gonna eat, then go get our bags and go to the airport. It's that easy. And Newark was that easy. No one, no one knows how to get around New York. I've been there 10 times. I, I didn't have a hard time. Even when I went there, it was like, okay, I do know that we can do this or this type of thing because it's Vegas, right? Well, I get free shows because I'm a veteran. Veterans get free shows in Vegas. Hey guys, I'm gonna turn on the music real quick, um, but I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go get more coffee.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune.
All right, I'm back. Um, Google keeps sending me notifications for flight prices to Vegas. Well, I keep telling you, Georgie, we need to go. Need to go. Do like a weekend or something. It'd be fun. Go. I get free shows. I normally can take guests into the shows because rarely is it ever just one ticket. Most times it's 2 to 4. Um, and you remember burn flights? That's all I think about when someone mentions Oh, bum fights. Oh, yeah, bum fights. I'm sorry. Yeah, bum fights was hilarious. I've talked about doing that. Okay. No, Kahanu, I'll talk to you later about an idea that I have. Something that's very funny that people are going to hate, but will get me a lot of attention if I do it. But yeah, back to the parenting thing. That's why I'm glad I took my son to New York. It was an adventure. It wasn't, oh, and like I talked to him about that, I was like, it's not always comfortable. I go, we don't know everything here. This is a new city for us. We don't know where everything is, what to do. So I said, if I can teach you one thing, it's to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And, I learned that in the military. That was the saying we used in the military. And a lot of that is because you're going to be uncomfortable. And when that happens, you don't want to completely come apart. Flights are cheaper out of Vegas, says veteran firefighter, which good morning, by the way. Good morning. Good to see you. Um, they usually are. And they're normally better flights. And by that, I mean normally like without any stops. Like we're flying again this week. We have a layover. That's I like traveling. It's an adventure. Some people just don't travel well. They do not they lose their shit. And you see it. And for me, like one of the best travel hacks I can give, and me and my son, we love doing this, is take a water bottle with you. You take it into the airport empty. You're not allowed to. You're only allowed to take so many liquids. So you take it in empty. And the security guy in Newark kept yelling at us. He was like, "Water bottles have to be empty. Water bottles have to be empty." And our water bottles were empty. They were just on the side of our bags. Uh, and Yeah, so we got through security, no problem. But then after you go through security, there's always a water fountain. We filled them up, and the thing is, because I've traveled a lot. The military had me travel a lot. There were times where I was stuck on a tarmac. I'm not joking. Hours, like 2 hours waiting to fly, and the planes run out of Coke and water. So I've learned always have that. Like you can bring snacks as long as they're unopened. You can put those in your bag, uh, which we generally do. But yeah, having water is because some of these airports charge way too much. And what I always like doing is in the airports, if I am gonna buy something, I use the vending machines. It's always cheaper at the vending machines. I remember taking my kids to Ireland, except for the 16-hour flight. It was effing awesome. She got to see where I was born, got to meet the rest of the rest of my family. I really want to go to Ireland. It looks like I will be going to Europe at the end of this year, and I've got a friend in Dublin, and I might reach out and say, "Hey, how about I stop for a day or two?" Next time, take the train. Not to New York. It was gonna be 3 days for us. I did look at the train. I was gonna s We were talking about flying into DC on a cheaper flight and taking the train in, which would have been fine. Would have been fine, but, uh, I just got such a cheap flight through, Newark, and the only reason we didn't take the train in was because we wanted to see the Statue of Liberty first. Off topic, my stomach is hating me today. That's one thing. Okay, you saw the videos yesterday of those Australian girls who were eating Chipotle, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, these girls, they're loving the Chipotle now." In about 5 hours. I've always wanted to travel, but being married to a jerk for 15 years, there was always an excuse as why we couldn't. Um, we need to plan one of the Margaritaville cruises. It's free for me. Yeah, we need to plan that. Yeah, yeah. You want to be in control of your emotions. I grew up traveling, military brat, then active duty, continue to do so. I'm fairly comfortable in most. Yeah, yeah. People were like, when they're like, you lived in the Middle East. I was like, yeah, I was there for over 14 months, and they're like, how was that? I was like, it's fine. They're like, you wasn't scary. I was like, I get scared here sometimes. Like there were some scary things in New York at times. We were there while the NBA finals were going. And yeah, I was worried about rioting happening while we were there. But first off, if you live your life in fear, you're not going to have a good life. You got to deal with the fear. You got to face it. And was it like that all the time? No. I felt very safe. Yeah, there were uncomfortable times. There were times where I was the only one in a room who could not speak Arabic, or there were a couple other languages. Like where everyone's having a conversation but me, and I'm the only one that only speaks English. That happened, but you know, you live. I picked up a lot of Arabic. You know, if I ever go back, I'll probably end up speaking Arabic because I got very good at reading Arabic. Because Arabic is just like our letters. Like each symbol means a different sound. So I could be like, "Oh, that sign says this," and I could read it, and they're like, "Well, what does it mean?" And I couldn't tell you. Yeah, someone I did watch someone. They said if you want to hate America, watch the news. If you want to love it, drive across it. Which is, yeah, we've talked. We want to take a train. Which this trip, taking the train to Newark, was the first time my son really has been on a real train, an Amtrak train. I hated moving. My dad was still active. We were constantly moving. I now just only travel when I have to. I'm willing to go again, maybe. Yeah, I grew up with dad would randomly wake up in the middle of the night and say, "Let's go on an adventure." We'd pack up and leave for so right? That's fun. That is fun. I lived in Spain, Germany, England, traveled all around Europe. Yeah. And I'm trying to talk like I've even talked to him about, "Hey, would you want to go to um, as they say in Europe, would you want to go to university in Europe?" I was like, "I'll tell you, you'll get a lot different perspective than people here in the US." And I was also asking him because he's got very good grades. I was asking him when we were down over near Grant's Tomb, that's right outside of Columbia. I was like, "Could you see yourself going to school here?" And he was like, "Here, yes." Where we were, because we did one of the tour things through NYU area where it's very busy, and it's right there between Midtown and downtown. And he was like, "Yeah, that's too much for me." He's like me, can visit a big city, doesn't really want to live in it. Milwaukee to San Antonio was around 40 hours. I got to see some of the most beautiful sunrises and sunsets I've ever seen. That's actually a good idea. I should look at there is a there is a train called the Southwest something, and it leaves from LA, and it might now stop in Palm Springs. I know there's now a train that goes from Palm Springs to LA. But I I might take that to like Texas. I might do that. That's a good idea. Bali Bali. Oh, guys, I'm looking at the time. I'm going to get going here, but I think this has been a great show, very positive show, and that's yeah. If any of you, if you are dealing with an ex, you've had a relationship breakup, you're going through any type of co-parenting, just go get a therapist, just someone that you can talk to, so you can process the feelings. You don't have to be like in intensive therapy. It's just someone that would be like, text them, "Hey, this is happening again." Dad was a trucker. I always told him growing up that I would never go out west. He would always giggle and say, "Yes, you will one day." Like out west, I'm an Ohio boy. I grew up in the Midwest. I started traveling with the football team. And I got to see a lot of the Midwest, um, which is a part of the reason I don't live in the Midwest anymore. I've seen a lot of it. Um, I could move back. Um, I could move back, but for right now, it's just this is different. But moving out here to the desert does agree with me. It's easier to acclimatize to the desert than it does. Like we got there to New York, and like it was 7 in the morning, and we're standing there at Liberty State Park in New Jersey, and I am sweating, like doused with sweat. And I'm like, I'm not used to this. That day was like 90% humidity. The next day it was 75%. So it was a little bit better, but I just sweat now. I eventually bought a towel just to be able to wipe my face and head. So lesson learned. Guess what I'm taking with me when we fly this week? I'm taking my friggin' towel. Elections in Alabama today. Um, I haven't followed those races too closely, so Midwest can kiss my Irish ass. Hey, there are good parts of the Midwest, really good parts. I understand why people don't like the Midwest. I can live in the Midwest. I'll tell you, uh, one place you could easily talk me back into moving to is a little town called Milan, Michigan. It's spelled like Milan, but they pronounce it like Milan. You want to talk about like you're near everything. Detroit is an hour away, Toledo about an hour, well, 40 minutes away. Airport, major airport, 20 minutes away. I could move back there. And it was like living in an ideal, an idyllic or idyllic, however you pronounce that, like little small town, like where everyone's walking, everyone says hello. Like that was a beautiful little city. And I was there for 2 years while I went to school. Born in Montana, lived in 9 other states, coast to coast. Never been to Montana. It's on my list. I I think I've been to 38 states now. And what's interesting about the Pacific Coast and the Northeast is I've been to these like little blotches. Like I've been to Maine, been to Connecticut, been to Massachusetts, haven't been to New Hampshire or Vermont or Rhode Island. Uh, I've been to Washington, haven't been to. I've been to Idaho, haven't been to Oregon or Montana. And then there's like this big stretch in the middle. South Dakota, North Dakota, haven't been to either. Kansas, haven't been to. Nebraska. Well, actually, I drove through Kansas, but I don't consider driving through. I consider it if I spent a day there. New York, I've only been to New York City. I'd love to move back to Eagle River, but I don't want to deal with the cold that Wisconsin kicks every year. Yeah, that is pretty rough. I want to go to Maine. Maine is beautiful. If you go in the summertime, it is beautiful. I've been to Maine twice. Both times to Bangor. Beautiful area. And I like being away from people. I could probably buy myself a cabin up in Maine and just spend my winter as a hermit. You'll be coming to Bama soon for a wedding. I'm still trying to talk my family into buying along the coast. They're still stuck on Florida, and I'm like, it's high property taxes. And I mentioned Gulfport and Biloxi, and they were like, and I was like, well, how about Mobile? And they were like, oh, maybe. They've never been. They have no clue about it. Um, so maybe we'll be buying something down there. I just need somewhere where it's easy to travel to. And I can drive from New Orleans. They're like Tallahassee, Pensacola. I'm like, yeah, those aren't big airports. They're not big airports. Been to 42 states, missing upper East Coast. Go in the summer. That's what I can tell you. It's beautiful in the summer. Yeah, that's what okay, I loved Toledo was fine. I would never live in Cleveland. I hate Cleveland. But Buffalo, I don't think I could live in Buffalo. Like it people is like, "Oh, it gets too cold." I can deal with the cold. The cold is fine. It's nothing like Chicago cold where it's just wind. That's cold. But Buffalo, it just dumps snow. And you're shoveling like a foot when it snows. In Toledo, if you get an inch of snow, Cleveland's getting 2 to 3, Buffalo's getting 5 to 6. So guess what happens when Toledo gets 2? It's called lake effect snow. It just builds up whatever storm goes over the lake, it builds up energy and then just dumps. Vegas meetup, right? ABA? Yeah, let's do a Vegas meetup. I'm up. Hey, there's Larry and Saucy. Maybe we could talk Larry and Saucy into coming to Vegas. Fort Lived in Fort Walton Beach, New Orleans, great place to fly. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'd probably do. I'd probably live right there. Well, I wouldn't live. We want a beach home, and I'm not going to live in it. I'm going to rent it out, and for 2 weeks or week out of the year, I'm going to stay in it. For me, it's investment. And here's the thing. My mom likes being able to see the ocean. We don't have to be on the ocean, but I'm not going to live on the ocean. I'm not one of those people. Fort Walton is beautiful. I just don't want to pay those Florida property taxes. It's nice that they don't have an income tax, but their property tax is crazy. Why try to turn our first date into a party? We end up in the same city. Me and the rumors are gonna fly about me and Georgie. Let's go grab the cup chair. Y'all are funny. All right, guys, I got to get going. I have got to get going. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakening to lighten her load.
Hey there, Veteran Nation fans. I am talking to you today because I have teamed up with a company that's dedicated to supporting veterans. What they do is they help you gather all the medical evidence that you're going to need to submit a VA disability claim. Now, it's all that is designed to help you get the benefits that you have earned. Right now, more than 17 million veterans don't have their full benefits. And if that sounds something familiar, either for yourself or a family member, now is the time to act. With this company, what they offer is free consultations with the medical team so they can figure out how they can best help you. And what they provide is board certified doctors with experience working with the VA, comprehensive medical documentation for both physical and mental conditions. And the services that they provide include nexus letters, telehealth evaluations, DBQs, TDIU, aid and attendance, and so much more. What you're going to do is you're going to click the link that's in the description of this video and sign up for a free consultation. Make sure you do me a favor, share this, and also tag a veteran. Let's help more people get every single thing that they have earned.